Hey friends, Sleepy here, and welcome to the episode of the weekly playlist. It's Friday, so it's time to share with you guys the games I have been playing during the past week. I actually got a nice little stack of games here. I'll let you guys know my thoughts and opinions on them. Of course, I want to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions on the games I share with you. I'd also like to hear what games you guys have been playing this past week, and if you have a recommendation on games you think I should try, let me know. I always look checking out new games, and you guys have suggested some really cool ones, and I do have a nice little list going. So we'll start off here with a game my buddy Grant came out this past Monday, and we had another retro gaming night, and we continuing our work on Donkey Kong 64. This is actually one of my favorite games from the Nintendo 64, and I really like this game because it changed up the formula for Donkey Kong. Because the previous Donkey Kong Country trilogy on the Super Nintendo were all 2D side scrollers, and when they brought it to the Nintendo 64, they transitioned into 3D, which a lot of other franchises did as well. Mario, an example, when he went to the 64 with Mario 64, that became a 3D adventure, and he started out as a 2D. The only difference, though, is they kept making 3D Mario Adventure games where Donkey Kong, after 64, they stopped making games like this. So there's no more Donkey Kong 3D games other than this one, because when they made the new Donkey Kong Country on the Wii and the Wii U, they went back to the side-scrolling 2D platformer style, which I would really love to see another 3D adventure in this, because this is a really fun game, done really well. I would love to see a remaster of it or a new game similar to this Donkey Kong 64. Of course, this game does suffer some horrible camera angles at times and issues with your depth perception, which is really prevalent in some of the mini games, which we just got done beating a really hard one with Diddy Kong, where you're in a barrel, you have to swim around to collect coins, then you have to get up to the top and jump on vines and swing to the last coin. And I probably did that 20 times before I beat it. And the problem is because you think where Diddy Kong is, you have a stationary camera, like you think you're right by the coin and you're under it or you're above it or you're to the side of it, and you can't tell exactly where you are. And so that can be quite confusing at times and annoying. You also run into that in some of the races that are in the game, where you're trying to fly through little rings with Diddy Kong. You think that you're going through the ring and you're actually to the side of it. It's because of the camera. So if they had a little bit better camera, it would have been a much easier game and would have controlled a lot better. But since it was an early 3D game, it does suffer from problems that earlier 3D games do. But don't let that discourage you from trying it out, though. It is a fun title, and you have 5 Kongs to play as, which is nice because, they added 3 new characters to the series. And you have Donkey Kong returning and Diddy Kong, but they added the big chunky Kong, they added Lanky Kong, and Tiny Kong. So it was really cool that they added some new Kongs to the universe. Funky Kong is still in this game. Candy Kong is in this universe. And then there's also a new Weasel guy who you bring blueprints to. But overall, it's really, really fun game. These are broken up into different worlds. And within the different worlds, each Kong has 5 golden bananas to collect. And there's actually 200 total to get everything 100% in the game. And we currently have 146 golden bananas of 200. So we're working on beating this, but it's a really fun title, and I definitely think you guys should try it out. If you have a 64, you've never played Donkey Kong 64, give it a try. Very fun adventure. I think you will enjoy this one. Give it a try. And then next, my buddy Jeff came over yesterday on Thursday, and he wanted to play some GameCube, and we played Mario Party 7, which I do love playing the Mario Party series. Mario Party 7 is actually one of my favorites in the series because they introduced using the microphone in this for those microphone mini games. But I just liked a lot of the mini games in this, and I liked the boards. I liked the power-ups in this, and it was really fun. Unfortunately, after Mario Party 7, when they went to Mario Party 8, the series started going downhill from there. That's when they started combining all the players into a car, and you all share and go to the same spaces together. And I just didn't really like that. I liked it where it was a board game style, where everybody moves on their own, and you're all fighting over to get the most stars, and different spaces you landed on did different things. I really enjoyed that. And so for me, I'd liked the Mario Party 1 through 7 is where it's really at. I did recently play the new Mario Party 10, which I liked. It just wasn't as in-depth as the older ones. So if you got a GameCube, definitely recommend Mario Party 7. Let me just warn you, though, that at least in this area, locally, this is like a $70, $80 game. Like, all the Mario Party games are always expensive. which is unfortunate. I've had this forever. I've got this since it originally came out and paid the $50 for it. But it's a fantastic title. Has a lot of great characters too, which I like. They have added characters in there. There's actually two you can unlock. I know Dry Bones is one, and I can't remember who the other one is because I don't have the memory card with me out here. It's actually in a tub in the bedroom, which I didn't dig out because I've got a bunch of memory cards. And on there, I had a save where I had all kinds of stuff unlocked. So we just started a brand new game. Really fun game. I always like playing as Luigi, and my buddy Jeff likes to play as Wario, and we played through a few different maps on this. But Mario Party is always a great game, especially if you can get 4 people together and play it. It's really fun. Love playing this series with my wife and son. It's always fun to play through. And then, of course, you can also play through with the computers, even play single player. But, it's not as fun as playing with your friends because the Mario Party series is awesome. I've loved it since the 64 days, and I've been playing it ever since then. And we had an absolute blast playing Mario Party 7. A lot of great mini games, a lot of great characters in it, and the boards are really interesting. It's really fun. So if you've never played Mario Party 7 for the GameCube, give it a try. If you like the previous ones in the series, you will definitely enjoy Mario Party 7 and you will not be disappointed. Next up, I decided to bring out the old Dreamcast because I have been playing a lot of Tokyo Extreme Racer Zero for the PlayStation 2. Why put that one on hold? Because I wanted to go back to the roots and play the original one for Dreamcast, and so that's what I've been playing the last several nights is Tokyo Extreme Racer for the Dreamcast, and my copy came in this really cool blue CD case, but I think it really makes it pop out, so I like that. This is a fun game. Absolutely love this. This is what helped start the Tokyo Extreme Racer series. Now, before this one, they had Tokyo Highway Battle on the PlayStation 1, and before that, they had the Shotoku Battle series on the Super Famicom and stuff, but this is where the series really started off as Tokyo Extreme Racer, and it is a really fun title. Highly recommend this one for the Dreamcast. This was a launch title. It's also only, at least here, when you can find it, it's only like a $5 to $8 title. Like, it's not very expensive. Now, you want to get Tokyo Extreme Racer 2 for Dreamcast, now you're talking expensive. That's like a $60, $70 game in this area locally. If you can find it online, it's $40, $50, which I want to get it sometime, but I got to wait for it to get a deal on it. And if not, it won't be the end of the world. I can keep playing this one, but it is really fun. I mentioned before, it's an arcade racer. You can upgrade your vehicles, which is key to this game. Let me just tell you that the key to beating the racers is you have to grind and upgrade your vehicles in order to defeat opponents because their cars keep getting stronger, they're tuned better, and they become much more difficult to defeat. And the only way you will is to keep getting upgrades for your car. And I suggest, just buy the best car you can at the beginning, beat a few races, and then keep upgrading the engine, keep upgrading the suspension, the tires, transmission, everything, so you can keep your car competitive. And then eventually, you earn enough money, you can buy better cars as you unlock them by beating various racers. The world is broken up into different little sections, and as you beat racers, you will unlock more of the map, and you also unlock more parts and more racers to defeat. And I know this one has a couple hundred racers. Now, I did notice, because I had not played this one in a while, but they have some of the same player racers and gangs that were in the later Tokyo ones. Like some that were in the Zero are actually in this first one, like the Rolling Guys, which is really cool. Which is another thing I like about the series is all the characters have really unique names. The gangs have unique names and unique personalities, and the cars are all different, which is really fun series. And the whole premise of this is you want to become the best illegal street racer on the highways of Japan by defeating all the different gangs. And when you beat a gang, beat all the different gang members in it, their leader will challenge you, and you beat him, and then you'll unlock parts, you'll unlock stuff, and you defeated that gang, and that's the whole point of the game. This is basically like a driving, racing RPG, which is really fun, real grindy, tons of hours. You could put hundreds of hours into this game in order to fully beat it and enjoy it. Really fun game. Now you drive around the streets of Tokyo, or the highways, and you go behind enemies. They'll have an R above their name, and you flash your headlights, and that'll initiate the race. And the whole point of the race is to get ahead of your opponent and drain their SP bar, which is their health bar. You have one, your opponent has one. The further are you ahead, the faster their bar will deplete. And once it's completely depleted, you'll win credits, and those credits are what you use to buy upgrades for your vehicle or buy new cars to get you through it. But it's a really fun game. Loving it as much as I like the newer ones. I wanted to go back and try out the classic one because I had not played this one in a long time. Some things I did notice that were a little annoying is when you go through the upgrades, like it doesn't really tell you what they do. You know, in the newer ones, especially on the PS2, you know, it tells you if it's making that your car weigh less or if it's making it go faster, have more horsepower or something. I have not noticed any indication of what the upgrades do. I just know that they improve your vehicle, and so that's what I'm using. So that's one thing that's warn you if you've played the newer ones and haven't played this one, that it's not as in depth as the later ones are. You know, because of course when they get the series going further, you know, they start improving and expanding upon the universe in the games. So really fun racing title. Definitely think you should check it out. Great title, absolutely loving it. So this is another one I've got in my rotation to play. I also want to start playing Tokyo Extreme Racer 3 for the PS2, but it's buried, so I have to find another copy here locally to buy. I just haven't seen one lately, so I want to get that so I can play that one as well. But I'm loving this Tokyo Extreme Racer series. Very fun arcade racer. I think you guys should check out. Yesterday, I finally defeated the Ghostbusters video game remastered for the Xbox One. So I beat this game last night, and I've been going through and getting all the achievements in it. I only have 3 achievements left to actually get. One is nice shooting text where you have to do less than $100,000 worth of damage, so that's another playthrough. I also need to beat it on the hardest difficulty, professional difficulty, which is not easy, let me tell you that. And then I also have to do the one where I do $3 million in damage. So when I play the game on the hardest difficulty, I'm going to go for the $3 million of damage just by blasting everything in the environment, destroying it, so I can get that achievement. And then I'll have to do another playthrough where I go through an easy and then try not to damage anything. I did that on the 360 version, so I definitely know I can do it here on the Xbox One. But this was a fantastic game. This is the Ghostbusters 3 movie we never got. It's basically an interactive Ghostbusters movie, and this is as close as we'll ever get to a good Ghostbusters 3 movie. I know they're making a new one next year, but Harold Ramis is dead, and you know, it's just not going to be the same. You know, the guys are all old and everything, and they're going to be passing the torch on, and, you know, I wanted them to do a Ghostbusters 3 back in the 90s, and it never happened, so this is the next closest thing we'll ever get, because the nice thing is all the guys came back and voiced. Ernie Hudson does Winston. Venkman is voiced by Bill Murray. Dan Aykroyd does Ray. Harold Ramis does Egon. And because it's a game, you know, they can make them young, and they set this in 1991. Really fun game. Continues the stories from the first movie. Most of the first movie. There's some references to stuff in the second movie, but this really does, you know, tie in the Ghostbusters universe, really expands on the story, the characters and everything, and it is really enjoyable, has a really good story. I definitely think you guys should check it out. Now, when this was originally released 10 years ago in 2009, it did have a multiplayer mode. However, that has been removed, which I know not everybody's into multiplayer. Yeah, I'm not too huge into it, but this was one title I did have fun competing with other people online, catching ghosts or teamwork, going through waves and stuff in like a horde style type of modes. Those were really fun, and it's sad that they took it out. However, the developers did say they were talking about building a brand new multiplayer experience from the ground up and going to release it as a free update in the future. So we'll see if that ever happens. If you were a fan of Ghostbusters, and you know you just love the series and you want to, you know, play a game that's actually good, because this is the best game they've ever released. Now I do like the one on Sega Genesis. You know, the NES one was garbage. On Atari 2600 was garbage, but this is a Ghostbusters game we've always wanted, and the Ghostbusters 3 movie that we never got. So pick up a copy of Ghostbusters the video game remastered. You can get it on the PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, PC, and then of course you can play the original 2009 one on the 360, PS3, Wii, DS, PSP, and the PC. So there's plenty of ways to play this game. And since these remasters came out, they've become a lot cheaper. The older ones were getting up there in price. I've been seeing them locally going down from $30 and $40 down to $15 and $20 a title. So that's really good. And This physical copies were only $30. Now the new ones are exclusive to GameStop. So just so if you're looking for a physical copy, they are exclusive to GameStop. Of course, you can download a digital one off any of the various stores, PlayStation Store, the Microsoft Store, the eShop for the Nintendo consoles. But really fun game. You play as a new recruit, as a fifth Ghostbuster, and you team with the Ghostbusters and go through the story. And it makes you really feel like you're part of the team, which I like. So you play as the rookie. He doesn't have a name. They don't name him because they want you as the player to feel like you're him, and you get to interact with the Ghostbusters, and it's a really fun title. And I'm so glad that I beat it this month. I was having a lot of fun playing through it at different nights, and it is a wonderful game, especially to play since Halloween had just passed. It was a fun game to play, so very, very happy that I was able to beat this game, and I absolutely love it. So awesome. And the last game, which I actually just got yesterday on Halloween, was Luigi's Mansion 3 for the Nintendo Switch. Now, I've been waiting for this game forever. Ever since I played the original Luigi's Mansion on the GameCube, I always wanted more. Then they came out with the one on the 3DS, and I enjoyed that game. Not as much as the original, just because they changed some of the aspects of the game and controls and stuff. But I still really enjoyed it, and I always said, man, I hope they would make another one on the consoles, like a console port. That's what I want. I don't want another handheld one, which ended up getting, a hybrid with the Switch. But I was glad that they finally came out with a sequel, and Luigi's Mansion 3 is great. I'm only an hour in so far. I was playing about an hour yesterday. That's all the time I had for it. But I'm really enjoying it so far. The story is that Luigi, Mario, the Princess Peach, and 3 different colored toads, a blue one, a red one, a yellow one, you guys get invited to this hotel, which is actually run by ghosts, but they don't know that, and you get there like they want you to be treated to their VIP treatment, and everybody gets captured except for Luigi. Now, I'm not going to say who the main enemy is because he's introduced in the beginning, because that kind of ruins the fun of the older games, but basically Luigi then has to go on a mission to go through this hotel and the various floors and rescue Mario, Princess Peach, and the Toads. And you go through all the different ghosts. They've got new powers and stuff added to his new poltergust. Like, one of them is really cool, is you can hit both of the L and R buttons at the same time, and a blast of air, smoke will blast out of his pack, and he'll jump up in the air. And so you can use that to make a Luigi jump, because he could never jump in the previous game. So that becomes really handy. If like ghosts swarm you, you can do that, and it'll blow them away and stun them and give you a quick second to recollect yourself. There's various different power-ups for the poltergust. I just, like I said, since I'm at the beginning, I just have all the basic stuff. But it's a really fun game. I do have one gripe for this game, though, and that is the controls. Now, if you played the original one on the GameCube, you know that the poltergust and everything they had inverted controls. Push down and it lifts up, and then goes down. Well, this one you push up to up and down to down. Well, I like to play inverted. I have for many, many years. I know there's people who don't like it, but I know there's a bunch of people who do like it, and you can't invert the controls. So I'm having a hard time adapting to it because I'm so used to playing with inverted controls. So I'm hoping that in a future update that they add inverted aim to. I know there was that problem with the when they re-released that Star Wars game for the Xbox and PlayStation 4 that didn't have inverted controls, and they recently patched it and did it. So I'm hoping they'll do something similar to it. Really fun game, though. If you guys have played the previous Luigi Mansions games and you like those, definitely pick up Luigi's Mansion 3 for Nintendo Switch. Wonderful title. I really wish we would have got the collector's edition here, though, that they got overseas and different ones. Some of them got t-shirts, they got statues, they got a steel book, which is cool. They got a little polter pup, ghost keychain, other really cool bonus stuff. All we got was just the basic game. America always gets screwed on collector's editions with Nintendo sometimes. I mean, we do get some, but we don't get nearly as much as Japan or Europe has. So I might down the road someday, like, if I find it for a good deal, pick up the steelbook for it, just because it'd be really cool, or the statue or something, or the notebook, any of the little cool bonus stuff. But I'm absolutely loving Luigi's Mansions 3, so I'm going to be playing this one for a while, and it's a wonderful title I think you guys should check out. So we'll do our quick little recap here, like we do every week. Talked about Donkey Kong 64. You know, it's a wonderful 3D style game. There are some camera issues since it's an early 3D game, but don't let that discourage you from trying out. Very fun title. Play Donkey Kong 64 if you got the 64. Great game. I also talked about Mario Party 7 for the GameCube. This was the final of the really, really good Mario Party games. After this, with starting Mario Party 8, they started going downhill. Definitely recommend you got a GameCube and you want to play with friends because it's really fun with a group of people. Pick up Mario Party 7 and play it. Just be warned, it is still a fairly pricey game. You know, $50, $60, $70, $80 for a copy, unfortunately, but it is a really good title. I also talked about Tokyo Extreme Racer for the Dreamcast. This is what started the Tokyo Extreme Racer series. Maybe before it was called Tokyo Highway Battle on the PlayStation 1, but when it became Tokyo Extreme Racer, that's when they released it on Dreamcast. Really fun game. It's basically a arcade racing RPG. Tons of guys to defeat in this game. Upgrade your vehicle is fairly difficult game, so you do have to do a lot of grinding and upgrading your vehicle to stay competitive, but it is a very fun title, and I think you guys should try it out for the Dreamcast. Fairly cheap game. Talked about Ghostbusters Remastered for the Xbox One. I finally beat this one, so I'm going to be putting this one away for a while. I'll go back here in a few months and mop up those last 3 achievements I need to get into, but it's really fun. This is the 3rd Ghostbusters movie we never got. It's the best Ghostbusters game they've ever made, and I absolutely love it, and I hope someday that they make a sequel to this or something, kind of a new Ghostbusters game. That would be amazing. And then we talked about Luigi's Mansion 3, which I just got. Fantastic game in the series. My only real gripe is I don't like that they don't have inverted aim for the controls, so it's hard for me to get used to that. But otherwise, it's a real enjoyable story so far. The graphics are amazing, and it is a fantastic title. Alright, guys, I want to thank you guys for watching. Take care, have an amazing day, and Sleepy will see you guys next time.